see my screen?
Yes, Vikas.
Yes, Vikas.
Okay, fine. So we'll go here and open the JMeter. Okay. So where is our JMeter? So this is your JMeter file, right? So click on the JMeter. It will open the command prompt, right? And it will start the JMeter server. You can see it here. It's taking time. So now you can see it started the JMeter GUI, right? Your JMeter get open, right? So let's suppose in the previous classes we have using the jet pat store performance testing. This file we have set, correct guys? Correct.
Yes.
So what we will do, we will click on, if you go to the file section, if you have save any file, right? So it will display in the open recent file. So I click on that file. You can see it here. Whatever the request I have added in that particular JP Pat store performance test plan, it get added here. Okay, and I have added two simple controller, sign in and the sign out. Okay, and inside that I have added the multiple request. Okay, so guys, after creating the request, you have recorded the stuff using the test script recorder. You have recorded the scenario and you have created the folder. What controller is this, guys?
Simple
What
control.
controller I have? Simple controller. So how did you can identify? If you click on the controller, you will see the type of the controller name. Simple controller. Okay, and simple controller is frequently used in the JMeter, right, to in the performance testing. Okay, there are multiple controller as well, but we will use, when we will discuss that particular scenario. Okay, so for now we are going to use the simple controller. Inside the simple controller, I have given one name as a login. Inside the login, I have added the login scenario, right? Open the Jetpat store and click on the login, enter the credential, and it navigating to the home page. Clear? And in the sign out, I want to verify the sign out functionality, not functionality, performance actually. I am not here testing the functionality testing. Functionality testing is done by the manual guys, right? Or whoever the responsible person, they will do the functionality testing. The performance tester is not responsible to do the functionality testing, behavior testing. Okay, so I'm trying to run this file, let me clear all this thing, and you can see the number of thread is 1, right? When I'm trying to run override this thing, you will see the result. Okay, one gate failed. Let me check. Okay. Let me add the assertion here. Remove the assertion. I have removed the assertion. Let me save this thing and again call. Okay, now you can see fresh data. Everything is fresh. Now, sir, what happened when the client sending the request to the server and server returning the response to the client, right? After getting the response, I want to validate like the data which I get it from the server is, that data is correct or not. Let's suppose guys, when you trying to book the flight ticket, okay, you created the flight ticket and server, the Make My Trip, has provided you the ticket, right? They provided the PDF of the ticket. So are you satisfied with that ticket? So are you also going to verify that tickets or not? That it is correct destination, correct time, or correct fare mention or not? Right, guys? You are verifying this thing.
Yes.
Okay. After then, you are ensuring that yeah, you whatever you want, you know get the correct things from the server. Right? Okay. When you get the things from the server and you are verifying that thing, that is known as a assertion. That is known as a assertion. To verify the result, to verify your result, that is known as a assertion. Okay, so in this class we are going to discuss about the assertion, okay, which is majorly used right in the project. Okay, so assertion means in assertion in JMeter is used to validate the response of the request that you have sent to the server. And assertion is the process where you are verifying the expected result with the actual result of the request at runtime. Okay, assertion means to verify your actual and the expected. So guys, tell me, when you are doing the testing, how did you ensure that the result is is successful result? How did you determining this particular test case is passed? What action you are doing? I a lot of what action you are doing? I think you are verifying the actual and expected. If actual and expected it get matched, can then you are ensure the test case is passed, right?
Yes, absolutely.
The actual expected, it can be any form. Just try to understand actual and expected only. Okay, so when your actual and expected is matched, then your test case is get passed. You are passing that test case. If it is not gets passed, then you are failing that test cases. That is known as a assertion. Validating your actual and expected. Okay, so give me a second, guys. Let me, few of the person is not joined here. Let me again call to that person. Okay, so in JMeter, similarly in JMeter, when we get the response, so when you click on the open Jetpack store, you can see this is the response you are getting, right? This is the response body. You can see you are getting the status code as a 200. And you are getting the response, right? You are getting this thing from the server. So let me open the Chrome. Let me open the Chrome browser and let me open the Jetpack store application. I'm trying to open the Jetpack store application. Sorry, this one is not. Where is our application? This one. I open this application. Let's suppose I click on the inspect and I'm trying to go to the network section. I'm trying to click on the fish. I want to verify the fish, right? So you can see it here when you go and go to the network section. This is your request. which this particular application calling, right? When you go to the response section, you can see the response. This is the response in the form of HTML. In the form of HTML. Okay, and this HTML is displaying here, right? When you go to the preview section, you can see, right? So this is the response which you are getting from the server, right? So when you are getting from the server, what are the things? The status code you are getting 200, and the response body, right? So you can see in the response body you are getting the different result here. You can see if you go down, you can see here the product id, it is in the form of table, right? The product id, the name, and angel fish, the name of the fish, angel fish, and the product id of the fish, you can see F1SW01, right? And if you move to the second element, you can see tiger shark, right? And the product id of the tiger shark. So like that you will get the response in the form of HTML from the server. Okay, so when you go to the JMeter, so this is the request, these all are the requests to verify the login feature, right? If you go and right click, and here you will get one option, assertion. You can see it here in this assertion pop-up. We have multiple assertion element: response assertion, JSON assertion, size assertion, JSR 223 assertion, XPath assertion, compare assertion, duration assertion, HTML assertion, JSON JME JSON path assertion, MD5, SMIME assertion, XML assertion, XML schema assertion, XPath assertion, bin cell assertion. Okay, so there are multiple assertion. In this assertion list, we have 5 to 6 assertion, which is very important and which is frequently used in the JMeter during the performance testing. Okay, so we are going to discuss the first assertion is response assertion. Response assertion. Okay, here you can rename the assertion name. Let's suppose whatever the action you are doing, based on that action you can pass the name. Okay, apply to field, that means that you want to apply the assertion on the main sample only, or inside the main sample if you have child sample. If you added the child sample, then you have to select main sample and sub sample. If you want to apply only sub sample, then sub sample. So right now I am applying the assertion on the main sample. This is your main sample. Inside this sample, there is not any sub sample are there. I have not added the sub sample. Okay, but in the coming class we will also discuss how you can add the sub sample. So this is your parent sample, right? This is the individual sample. Okay.
Hello, Vikas.
Yeah.
Vikas?
Yes, sir.
Actually, I'm not understanding what is assertion. Like, is it a controller?
No. Controller is the different thing. Controller means to store the sample. Too simple. Controller means container. The storeroom, where we are storing the sample, where we are storing our object, that is controller, right? In tomorrow class, we will discuss the different types of the controller. Right now, we have only discussed the simple controller. That is, if you go to the thread group, here you can see logic controller, and this is the simple controller. Right. So this one is the simple controller. You can see inside this controller, I have added the multiple request. Right. So that means inside the controller, we can add the multiple request. Controller means simple as a folder. So guys, tell me inside the folder what you are doing here. Inside the folder, you are storing the PDF document and whatever the things we have, you are storing inside the folder, right? Same thing here. The controller is the folder container where we are storing the objects. Okay. So the assertion means after connecting with the server. After connecting with the server, we get the response from the server, right? So we are verifying the response. That response is correct or wrong, right? That is, to validating the actual and the expected. That is the assertion. That is the assertion. Okay. Now you have added the response assertion. Okay. And this is your where you want to apply the assertion. You have to select the radio button, right? So let's suppose I am selecting main sample only. So this is the main sample. Inside the main sample, I have not added any other sample. So this is the main sample. If I add any sub sample, so you can select sub sample if you want to apply the assertion. I will take one by one example. Okay. So right now I'm applying the assertion on the main sample, that is open the Jetpack store. Okay. And then you can see there is one field to test. Field to test. Okay. So there are multiple radio button, multiple fields are there. Test response, response code, response message, response header, request header, URL, document, ignore status, and request data. Okay, so we'll use one by one. Okay, let's try to understand the text response. Okay, so when you call this a request, open the Jetpack store. If you go to the view result tree, if you go to the response section, you can see it here in the response. There are multiple tagging, multiple values are there. Let's suppose if inside this response you want to verify one text. Let's suppose you want to verify this text message. Welcome content. You want to verify the welcome content is displayed in this response or not. So what you will do here, you will copy this content message, you will go to the response and select the test response message and click on the add and pass that value which you want to verify inside this response. So that assertion means if you pass any value, so it will go to the response message what you are getting from the server. It will verify this text message which you pass here. If test message is exist into your response, then your test case will get pass. Otherwise, it will get fail. Okay. So I have added the response assertion. Let me save this assertion. Let me clear and let me call. Overwrite, and let me check. Can you see it here? Your test case get pass. Your test case get pass here, or whatever the assertion you have added, that test case get pass. You can see it is in the green. It is in the green. If you go to again assertion, let's suppose I am passing the value which is not exist in your response. Let's suppose I am passing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 invalid. I am passing this particular text which is not exist into your response. Okay, and let me save. I have saved this thing, cleared all the component and call. It's connecting with the server. Can you see it here, guys? This request get failed. Response assertion. Can you see it here? The expected content was, you are expecting that welcome content 1, 2, 3 invalid should be displayed in the response. But this content is not displayed in your response which you are getting from the server. Right? So if that particular thing is not exist into your server, then that means whatever what the expected you want, that not get fulfilled. Right, guys?
Because one doubt, from where we should copy that response text? From UI
So,
only we can get
no,
that,
no,
right?
no, no. Right now, what we are doing, you are designing your scenario, right? You are designing your scenario. You have added the dummy here. When you record the stuff, when you run this call, and inside the listener, you will see the response. Okay, you can decide, you can based on the response. Let's suppose you want to verify any particular message in the response, right? If that particular message get displayed in the response, then you are ensured that your test case will get passed. Your test case will get passed. So when you go to the view result tree and when you go to the response data, you have to decide whatever the things you want to verify, right? So copy that content and go to the response assertion and pass that value here. Either, let's suppose you want to take it from the here, from the UI. Yes, you can take it from the UI as well.
Because, but what is the use of passing it in assertion? Because we already know that it is in the response file, right? Then
No,
we 100% we will be sure, right, that it will be present.
No, how do you ensure it will be present, ma'am? Tell me.
Because we are already taking it from this listener, right? You're taking it already from the response header here. From the response body only you're taking.
No. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm taking this response, the value from the response body. Yes, I'm taking, but this value I'm taking to add the assertion. Not every time I have to pick it, right? When your assertion is ready, when you run this collection, at that time I will not check. So guys, tell me, you have completed your script. You have completed your script. So when your script will get ready, so you are executing your script. So how did you can identify your script is working fine? It is pass or fail. You have added some assertion there. If your assertion get passed, then you are considering that thing as a pass, right? Okay, let's suppose you are not understanding, leave it. If you are not understanding, leave it, totally leave it. Let's try some other way to understand that stuff. Okay, so this is your request in the postman. This is your request. This is your request, right? When you connect with the server, you get this thing. Okay, let me pass the unique ID here. 5. Okay. You pass the unique, unique data here, and you get the data. You get the data, right? Now, yes, you are getting the 201, but first time when you manually check this data, yes, it is correct. It is correct. But when you automatically, when you running this thing using the Jenkins or any pipeline tool or CI/CD tool, so are you every time go and manually check the response? Are you go and every time go and check the
No,
response?
Vikas.
No.
No.
So for that, you have to add the assertion that the things which you want, it get validated, it get matched, right? So that's why we are adding the assertion. So let's suppose you want Rahul test. So what you are doing here, in the assertion, you are adding the Rahul test. If Rahul test is coming every time, then you are ensuring that your request is successfully working. Okay, so depends on the scenario, what value you want to verify, right? You have to add that value. Let's suppose, okay, let me take some another example. Make my trip. I'm taking make my trip. Let me inspect this element, and I have inspect this element and go to the network section and click on the make my trip. Okay, when I hit the make my trip, in the response section in the network, if I go to the network, you will get the response like that. This is your response. Okay, so when you added this response into your JMeter, so every time manually you can't go and check. Either you have to verify the status code, right? If your status code is 200, then you are satisfied that your response is working fine, right? Apart from the 20 status code, if you want to verify any value, right, any value from the response, let's suppose, let me copy this response and go to the JSON editor online. I have, this is the response which you are getting from the make my trip. Okay, so in this response you have to find the unique thing. That thing should be unique, and that thing is ensuring if you get that thing in the response, that means your response is, you are getting the successful response from the server. Okay, so that thing you have to verify, that thing you have to find out from this response. So let's suppose if I find this thing www make my trip, if www make my trip contain display in my response, that I can ensure that thing is working fine. Okay, so copy that text and pass it here, right? So when your assertion is get completed, when you run this thing again, let's suppose you are running this thing again, okay, that if the test case get passed, that you are ensuring that you are confident that the response is passed, whatever the assertion you have added, that is also get passed. Correct? You don't have to go and check the assertion every time. So that's why we are adding the assertion, because in the real time, right now we are running our JMeter scenario using the JMeter tool, right? But in the real time, you will not use the green icon to run this JMeter, to run the scenario. In the real time, you will use the command prompt. Using the command prompt, you have to run this scenario. not using the JMeter. Once your scenario get completed, you are running this command, you are running this scenario using the command prompt, not using the JMeter. Okay, so at that time you don't have the go to the view result tree and go here and check. Using the assertion, you can identify that your test case is pass or fail. Clear, madam?
Yes, Vikash.
Okay. Now let's try to add some different assertion. Okay. So response assertion we have added. In the response assertion, I have verified the text message, whatever the text you want, depend on the scenario. Let's suppose if you want to verify some other things, let's suppose you want to verify any category like fish, or any code like RECT, or like anything which you want to verify, and verifying that things you are ensuring that assertion is get passed, then you can add anything. I'm not asking only the welcome content, right? Let's suppose you want to add some other thing. Let's suppose let's take it as a any other value. Let's take it as a, here you can see the birds, the element, we can take the sub element birds, fish, dogs, reptile. So I will go and select this thing, select this thing, and go here in the response and pass the let's suppose I am adding multiple, so you can add the multiple also. Okay, I have added multiple, and close this thing and try to run. You can see it here, your test case get passed. So tell me guys, when your test case get passed, so what the things in your mind will come? In your mind you will think that whatever the assertion you have added, in that assertion I was validating the welcome content and the element like birds is displayed or not. Let's suppose birds is not, you have passed some invalid data, you have passed some invalid data, right? And you are trying to call. Let's see what happened. You can see your test case get failed. So guys, tell me, in the validation, let's suppose you are expecting that not tiger, let me add here home. You have add home as a home, right? You are expecting the home in the response page, what you are getting from the server, you are expecting home should be displayed, right? When you create your script, when you added your assertion, when you call this thing, now tell me your assertion get failed. Now tell me your assertion get failed, right? So what did you think? Your assertion get failed, then tell me what did you think?
We are passing unexpected data as a test data.
You are expecting that whatever the response you will get, it contain the welcome content and home, right? These two are you're expecting, right? But when you get the response, instead of home you are getting some other value, that's why your test case get failed. Correct? So like that you can add the response assertion. Okay, now let me correct this thing. Yes sir, go ahead.
Because one doubt here, that when I am passing multiple values here, multiple text here, so it means that the assertion will take it as a the means the
And
first
operator.
one and operator, right? Okay.
Yeah. not or operator. If you want to apply or operator, then you have to select or.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. So
Vikash,
yeah.
one small actually while running this in JMeter, once after we add the listener, once after running this again we have to add the assertion, right? Only after the first run only we have to add the assertion and test.
Yeah, generally if you add the listener, after then you can see the result actually using the listener. Whatever the response you are getting from the server, using the listener you can see the response. So that's why first you can add the listener and after then assertion.
So after adding
Okay,
the listener, we
but
have
if
to
you are,
choose the particular thing, right? What response we need, and then only we have to add the assertion. And is that it's not like it? We are running it multiple times. Is that okay?
I didn't get you.
I mean, in this case, we will be running multiple times, right?
Mhm.
First time without assertion, just we will run and get the response data from the listener. Then after that, we will select the particular text from the listener, and again we have to add the assertion and run it again, right?
Yeah,
Is that
exactly. So let's suppose, guys, so in the first time you can't set up all the things, right?
but in
First
UI
you have,
it will have, right, Vikash? From
but
UI we can
UI
get, right?
UI is the different actually, because you are recording the stuff using the test script. We have to work, bunches, in a small bunches. First you record. After recording, you have to store the things in the controller. After storing the controller, then you have to add the listener. Then you have to add the thing. You have to verify the same thing into your JMeter, right? The into your JMeter, when by adding the listener, when you add the listener you will get the response. After then you get the response, you have to decide what response you have to add, what assertion you have to add. After then you can add your assertion. So step by step, in one shot, if you are very much confident, yes you can add. Yes, you can add in a one single in one single flow you can add if you are confident, but no one is the confident, I think, right? So step by step you have to work. Okay, first you have to add the controller, then create the logic controller, the simple controller. After then you have to filter out the thing, then move the thing inside the simple controller, then add the listener. Then you have to check the response, what response is coming out. Then you have to decide which response, which validation you have to add to pass and fail. Okay, so step by step you have to work. Okay, after recording the stuff, you don't have use the UI actually, right? You in the UI you can't do the performance testing. You need one tool actually, right? So that thing is the JMeter. You have recorded the scenario, right? Now you have to architect here. Now you have to complete your designing to achieve your scenario. Okay, so step by step you have to work.
Okay,
So,
Vikash, thank you.
So one thing I want to know, you can give me the answer without looking at the response. Can you determine what would be the expected result?
No.
Yeah, you have the requirement sheet. We are following the requirement sheet. Agree. We have the requirement sheet as per the client.
Yes.
We follow the requirement sheet, right? So based on the requirement, we are expecting your response, right?
Yes.
Right. So based on the requirement sheet, you can also add the assertion, right? But generally, yes, you have the requirement sheet, but generally what we are doing, we connect with the response, and also to verify the requirement sheet, you want the response from the server, correct? After then you can ensure the requirement is working fine. Agree?
Yes.
right? So for that you need the response. After getting the response, you are verifying the requirement. After then you can add your assertion. Okay. Now the second assertion, go to the, so I am adding the assertion inside this sampler. So it will not apply to other sampler. Okay, it will only apply for this request because I am adding inside this request. Okay, so I will again go here and add assertion, response assertion, and click on the response code and select the content. Select the content. Response code means after connecting with the server, what response code the server is returning to the client. Okay, response code is this one, the status code. If it is successful response code, then we have 200 series. When we connect with the server, when we get the response, right? If you are getting successful response, then we have 200 series. If you are getting any error from the server, it might be 400 series or 500 series. But if you get the successful response, then 200 series will come. Okay, now in this case, as per the requirement, when you get the successful response, you will get the 200 status code. So generally in the performance testing, we are applying this response assertion. Most of the time we are applying this assertion because if you use the test response, so this means that you are testing the functionality, right guys?
Yes. Correct.
This means that you are testing the functionality. The birds is display in the response or not, welcome content is display in the response or not. You are verifying the functionality, but it's my duty to explain you all the field. That's why some of the time we require. So that's why I have explained you the test response. Okay, if you think you have to also add the test response, then you can add like that. Okay, but in the real time, generally, which is frequently used, response code. If you are getting 200 series, that means you are getting the successful response. If you are getting apart from the 200 series, then you are not getting the successful response from the server. Then your test case, will get failed. Okay, so what you will do, select the response code and contain checkbox, either match, either equal to. Okay, so click on the add. Here you can add the 200 and here you can rename this thing, verify the status code. I have renamed this thing and here I am verifying, verify the text message. I have given this some proper naming convention, so that when you go through this assertion, you can easily say that what you are trying to do it here. That's why I have passed the proper naming convention. Okay, let me clear. Override. You can see your test case get pass. Your test case get pass. That means whatever the status you have added, whatever the assertion you have added, it get pass. Okay. Now let's suppose you are passing here something like I am using some invalid URL. I am using some invalid URL, and let's see what happened. So can you see, guys, here your request get failed? Can you see it here, guys? When you go to the main request, you can see response code. You can see it here, guys. You are getting some error message here, 404.
Yes.
Which you are getting from the server. Okay, so that is the benefit of the assertion. In any reason you are not getting the successful response from the server, it will fail the test case. Right? So you are expecting that you will get the 200, right? But you can see you are getting 404. 404. Right? So like that you can add the assertion. Let me correct the. Okay. So let me clear. You can see the test case get passed. Okay, so you have verified the status code. Okay, so we have other functionalities also, like response message. If you are getting any response message, then you have to select this particular, right? If you want to verify response header, request header URL, so right now I will not explain you, because you don't have the much more clarity about the API concept. Okay, so you can't understand this thing. Okay, so right now I have only explained you test response and the response code. That's it. Okay, and we will discuss the other assertion later on. Okay, now.
Because
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
I have still error on the when you change.
What?
When you change in the server name.
Mm-hmm.
After
So have you revert that changes?
Yes.
Okay, please copy this URL. Let me provide you. Have you changed in the server name, right?
Yes.
Let me provide you the server name. Copy the same name there. You will not get any other message.
Yes, but I run and I have the same error in the view results tree.
Can you share your screen?
Yes. Right now.
So that's why, guys, I told you in the beginning, if you don't know the coding, no worry. Everything in JMeter is the component. Yeah. So one test case get failed, sir. Go to the, sir, try to use the view listener at the bottom. Yeah, try to follow some proper, this is also fine, but try to use listener below the sampler. Okay.
Below
Okay,
the sampler.
go to the, below the controller.
It's not
Okay,
below.
No, what hierarchy I am following, so try to follow that hierarchy. Okay, in the same way. Okay, now go to the view result tree. Go to the view result tree. What request? This one you get failed, right?
Yes.
Okay, and Go to the sample result in the response, in the listener sample result. Here, sir, here in the middle of the screen. Again, go to the view result tree. View result tree. Go to the view result tree. Middle of the screen, you can see sample result. Go down, go down, go down, go down. Yeah, go down. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sample result here. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Go to the request. Go to the request. Beside the sample result. The next two sample result.
I
Go
can
to.
I can clean I clean and iron again, no?
Yeah, you can clean all the things and try to pass the number of thread less, one or two.
Here.
Change the thread group, one or two, sir.
This upon to exercise, no?
No, do not start first. Do not start. Do
This.
not start. Yes, click on do not start. Go to the thread group. Thread group. Yeah. Okay. One. Okay. Okay. Now you can run. Okay. There is only one. You can run. Go to the green. Overwrite existing file. Yes. Go to the view result tree. It get pass.
Yes. Okay. It's okay.
Okay. It's happened.
Yes.
Okay. No problem. So guys, can you see my screen? So we have discussed about the what response assertion, right? Now we are going to discuss about the next assertion, duration assertion. Duration assertion, right? So your client is asking you, you are doing the performance testing in your project. Your client or your team lead giving you the scenario that for the request, you have to verify the duration of the request. The duration of the request. Let's suppose if your response is taking more than 2000 millisecond. Let's suppose the ideal time is 5 seconds. Millisecond to second. So guys, tell me, I want one answer from you. Whenever you are doing the UI testing, what is the ideal time of the response? When let's suppose you are clicking on the any element, and how much time you can wait after then you are reporting that thing as a bug? How much millisecond or second you can wait? Let's
That is
suppose you are
decided
clicking
by
on
the
the
client.
let's suppose you are clicking on the flight or hotel, and what expectation time you will wait, and after that if you will not get the response you will report that thing to the client. So anyone can tell me what is the expectation time?
Around
Yes,
3
madam.
seconds.
I can't hear properly, sir. Can you come again?
3 seconds.
Hello. 3 seconds. Guys, I can't hear you properly. Can you please repeat the same? What is your expectation time to get the data from the server? What is your expected time in your project generally?
Because it's depend on the requirement.
Depends on the requirement, right? Correct. So what is your requirement in your project? What time? What millisecond? Average?
Uh,
5 second, 10 second, 30 second, right?
yes.
Not, I think, more than 30 second, I believe. I think even 30 second is very actually more actually. Agree?
Yes.
Madam, you were asking something. Uma, I think you asking something in the beginning.
No, I was answering. I was answering
Okay,
what.
so what was your answer?
Less than 3 seconds.
Less than 3 seconds. Okay. So can I consider 10 second is the sorry, 5 second. 5 second. Can I consider this is from the client side? So 5 second. Right. So 5000 millisecond means 5 second. Correct. So
Correct.
your client expecting that when you connect with the server and you will get the response, the duration of the request is 5000. If it is greater than 5000, then fail the test case. If it is below the 5000, then it's okay, no problem. Then we don't have to do anything. So you have added the duration assertion. Verify the response time. I have given the name. Okay, so clear this thing and call. So can you see it here, guys? Your assertion get passed. The main test case get passed. Your assertion get passed. Can you see it here? All the test case get passed. Now, guys, tell me if I am passing 5000 here, what it means actually.
We convert in seconds, right? The response time.
No, we don't have to worry about it is in the because in JMeter you have to pass in the millisecond, right? That's why I have passed.
It will validate within the mentioned time whether we get the response or not.
Right. So it will validate the time which you have mentioned. It is the response time is within the time or not, or it exceeds the time. Let's suppose. Let me go to the view result tree. What is the response? Now, guys, I have explained you the listener. Now, you guys tell me. You guys tell me what is the response time of open the Jetpack store request? What is the response time of this? By looking into this listener view result tree, what is the response time of open the Jetpack store?
2 seconds.
2 seconds.
2 seconds. So this is your response time, 2109 millisecond. Agree? Right? So I want to fail the test case. Let's suppose. So your client want your client expectation is if it is greater than 1.5 millisecond, then fail the test case. Right? Let's see what happened. Clear all the things and try to run. Oh, it get passed. So let me again look at the view result tree. 843 it is, right? So I have to give some less time to fail the test case. Could I pass 500 to fail the test case? Let's suppose this is your client expectation. Override. Can you see it here, guys? Verify the response time. Now tell me what it means actually. Now tell me. The test case get failed. Your assertion get failed. Now
it's
what
less
it
than
means?
500 milliseconds. I mean, it's greater than 500 milliseconds, which we have provided.
So you can see it here what the response time by the server. You can see it is 695 millisecond. And the assertion, what is your expectation? This is your expectation. The below or equal to 500 millisecond. But you are getting 595 second. That's why you can see the test case get failed. Any doubts?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead,
Because
sir.
last time we had seen that response time was 2109. How it changed to 695?
It depends on how they are connecting, sir. Might
Oh,
be at that time server was responding very good. That's why we are doing the performance testing. Okay.
oh,
So every time server will not respond in the same speed, right?
okay.
The server speed will vary. Depends on your, might be my network will get, poor at that time. Or, when you are, guys, have you seen one thing in your real time? When you open your project URL first time, it taking some time load. And when you frequently first time, it will take some time to open the browser, to open the your application, or clicking on the any element, it's taking some time. When you continuously do that action, it will working fine. Have you seen this type of behavior?
Yes.
Yes.
Let's suppose you log in your machine, you went to your office, you sign into your system, you log in your application, right? Now you open the Chrome browser and you hit your application, whatever the application. Let's suppose my make my trip. When you hit this application first time in a day, in 24 hours, when you hitting this server, this application, it's taking time to load the page. Have you seen that? And when you hit the second time, third time, it quickly giving the response. Are you have you
Yes.
noticed this type of behavior?
Yes, it happens.
Yes,
What
we
happened?
have seen
What
that.
happened? What happened? When we are doing testing in our application, let's suppose QA environment, or development environment, or acceptance environment. So everyone, server is not in the rest mode. Server, I am hitting the server, you are hitting the server, you and your colleague is hitting the server, right? When you sign off your machine, so no, let's suppose no one is hitting your server. So server will go into the rest mode. It will take the rest actually, right? So when you log in your application, when you first time, when you hitting your server, then again server will wake up. Okay, so that's why it's taking time. Server in the rest mode actually. When no one is hitting your server, it will come into the rest mode. Okay, and when you first time hitting your application, it's taking some time to load properly. Okay, so this is the sometime you will face this type of issue. Sometime your network issue which you are using, right? Sometime some other problem, like if they are using some third party services, or any issue in the database, right? You are successfully connect with the server, and your server is also connecting with the database, right? And you are getting the slowness from the database side, right? So there are multiple reasons to to vary the response time. Okay, so this concept is clear, the duration assertion, right? So you have the question in the real time, we are using these two assertion, 95% we are using this assertion. The status code and the response time we are frequently using in our scenario. frequently used in our scenario. Okay, now come to the next assertion. Guys, right now I'm applying the assertion only on one request, right? When we have much more clear concept about the assertion, then we will apply this assertion in all the request. Okay, so we have one more assertion, that is size assertion. Here, size assertion. Size assertion. So size assertion, this thing is also we are not using, but if your client is asking, then you can use this assertion also. Okay, so this assertion means when you go to the view result tree, you can see the bytes here. Let me pass the correct response time here. Let me 5,000 so that our test case will not get failed. 5,000. Okay. Yeah, size assertion. So you can see in the view result tree, we have one bytes column. This byte, right? So this byte means data which the client is sending to the server, and the data which we are getting from the response, right? So that is in the form of bytes. Okay, sometime your client will ask you that if the bytes is less than 2000, then pass the test case. If the bytes is greater than 2000, then fail the test case. Here you will see the comparison, the types of the comparison. Here, the types of the comparison. Okay, here you have to, if you are sure that guys, tell me what is the meaning of equal to here. You can tell me.
If
Same.
size is equal to 2000, then the pass the test case.
So the which I am passing 2000 and the byte which you are getting from the server, if both are equal, right, then you have to select the equal to. Generally we are not selecting in the real time because we don't know the exact. So we are assuming the baseline, and based on the baseline we are we are generally using greater than equal to or less than equal to. These two symbol we are using generally in the real time, or this two also. Yes sir, go ahead.
So we are comparing this size with the response size, right?
Yes, the response size which you get it from the server. Okay, so yeah ma'am, let me complete, after then come with the question. Okay, so here I have passed the 2000 and I have selected equal to. Okay, and let me clean this thing and call. Your test case get fail, and you can see now. Guys, tell me what this message is here. What did you understand here? You understand that it was 119 bytes which you are getting from the server, and this is your expectation which you want. This is your expectation, and this is the actual which you are getting from the server, right? And here you can see this, I have added the condition, it is equal to, but it is not equal to 119. That's why your test case get failed, right? If I put here less than equal to 2000, let's try to run. select the radio button and save it, control S, save it, clear this thing and try to run. Can you see it here, guys?
It's pass. The result.
Your test case get passed, and when you go to the view result tree, can you see the bytes here? It is less than 2000 or not?
Yes. Less than.
Less than 2000. Let's suppose your client is expecting greater than 2000 bytes, right? So in that case, you have to select this option and clear this thing and save this thing and run. So tell me, what is the response from the server? 1918. And what is your expectation?
Greater than or equals to 2000.
So tell me, your actual expected get match or not match?
Mismatching.
So tell me, your test case would get pass or fail?
Fail.
So you can see it here, it get failed. Guys, you can mute. Can you see it here? Your test case get failed. Right? Similarly, if it is asking only less than 2000, then you have to select this particular radio button. If it is asking greater than, then you have to select this button. If it is asking not equal to 2000, then you have to select this radio button. Now you have the question, who is deciding this thing? Generally, this thing is decided by your client, right? So based on the client, otherwise you can also take the decision, but you have to discuss this thing with the client that you are going to pass this assertion. If the client agree, then you can. Okay.
Yes.
I have
Now,
nothing on the.
sorry, sir.
When I run, in the view results, it's nothing.
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 Can you share your screen?
Yes.
In performance testing, guys, everything is the practice. If you don't do the practice, nothing.
So
It's
so we
totally.
have 200, 500. I clear all and I run over white.
Okay.
And I go in the view results and it's nothing.
Something is happening with you. Okay, we can look into that. Click on the view, click on the sign in.
On the?
I think you made some changes here. Okay, can you collapse the things? Give me a result. Sir, can you delete, can you expand the, open the Jetpack store? Sorry, collapse this request, collapse. We have icon, the arrow icon, downward arrow icon. You can see it here. Not in the there. You can see the icon is there. Downward arrow icon. No. Corresponding to
arrow.
open that, the drop down arrow. Not this one. The corresponding to the open Jetpack store. Yeah, you can collapse this thing. Click on that. Simply click. Right. So okay, this hierarchy is correct. Okay, what happens, sir? This as I think you made the changes, right? In this hierarchy, you made the changes, and the listener you have added inside the script recorder. It get added. You have to add this listener inside the thread group. So move this listener, the view result tree summary result inside the thread group.
Okay. Here. You heard me? Hello?
Guys, everyone can hear me?
Hello? Hello? You hear me?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah,
I can
Vikas.
also.
Yes, Vikas.
Here.
The one thing.
Now I heard you. Here it's okay, no?
Yeah. You can do one thing. Delete all listener. Delete all listener. Delete all listener. Delete all. Go and delete. Remove. 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 Remove also. Remove, and the top one. Yeah. Remove. Now you can go right click on the thread group and uh, add the listener. Go to the bottom, listener. Yeah, view result, any listener you can add. Not try to run. Not try to run and check. Clear all. Yeah. Right, sir?
Yes.
Okay. Earlier it was when you earlier it was all the listener was get added inside the test script recorder. Right. So
Yes.
that's why it was blank. Okay.
Oh.
Let me share my screen. So guys, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, now we are moving to the next listener, that is what assertion, XML assertion. So XML assertion, in the XML assertion is used to verify that the server response that comprise of a correct XML document or not, right? So if you are using the XML assertion, that indicate that the response which you are getting from the server, that is in the XML form. If you want to validate that thing, in that case you have to add the XML assertion. Let's suppose, let me clear this thing and call. Let's see what happened. You can see the let's suppose the client want, as per the requirement, the response which you are getting from the server, it should be in the XML format. In that case you have to use the XML assertion. Generally we are not using in the real time because we are not testing the functionality here. So ignore this thing. Yes, you can use. So why we are using this thing? If you want to verify the response which you are getting from the server is in the form of XML, in that case you can use. Clear, guys? Now moving to the next assertion, we have HTML assertion. Okay, so HTML assertion means when you connect with the server, when you get the response, you have to verify the response which you are getting. It should be in the HTML format, right? In that case, you have to use the HTML radio button and you can add that particular assertion. Right now, we are not going to discuss this thing in detail, because if I explain this thing, you will not understand. Okay, so I am going to delete this thing, XML and the HTML. So in our class, we are going to use this assertion frequently: status, response, and the size, and the text message also. Okay. Okay. So in this class, we have learned the different types of the assertion. Okay. Before moving to the other point, in tomorrow class, I will explain the controller, the logic controller. You can see it here, the logic controller, and we can discuss the timer and config element. Okay, so before this topic, I want to give you the basic idea about the API. Okay, basic idea about the status code. Okay, so give me a second. Let me go up somewhere. This thing is, I think, discussed. Response code, Postman, API, material, document, and this document. Okay. So in this class, we are going to also discuss about the status code. Because this is very important status code which we are going to use in most of the classes. Okay, so guys, please listen carefully. Whenever we are sending the request to the server, right, and data get created successfully, right, data get created successfully, either created, either deleted, either updated, either downloaded, either replaced, whatever the successful action. If you perform the successful action, then it will return the 200 series. 200 series, right? Either 200, either 201, either 204, no content. Either 2. Here and renaming this. Guys, can you hear me now?
Yes, Vikas.
Again, you are facing issue, or it's same? It resolve? Anyone facing any noise issue? Everyone can
It's
hear
okay.
me?
It's okay, yes.
Okay, fine.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, fine. So we are going to create one simple controller. Let's suppose I am giving the name REST API. Okay, and I am moving this controller here. I have moved this controller here. Inside this controller, I am adding the HTTP request. So I will go here. We have one API, REST API. Guys, you can mute. Have one REST API here. This is our REST API, which I have already shared you the requirement sheet. Okay, this is your REST API. Here I will use, right, HTTP request go REST go. So guys, tell me this is your HTTP request which you don't have to pass. Okay, and this is your resource, so which you have to pass it here. Okay, and I'm trying to create the data, so I have used the post method. I have used the post method, and what is the body of the post method? I think Postman would be the good to explain you. Actually, the Postman UI is good. Okay, no worry, I will explain it here in the Postman. Okay, so you can see it here. Sorry guys, I am switching to JMeter to Postman. Okay, so you can see it here. I have selected the method post and I have passed the URL here and the body, right? And I am creating the user as a Rahul API test. Okay, and passing the URL and the email ID as a Rahul API test, right? And trying to connect. So guys, what I'm trying to do it here, tell me what I'm trying to do it here by using this method, by using this request, what I'm trying to do it here.
Creating data.
Everyone agree? I am trying to create the data using the post method. Using the post method. Okay. So can you see it here? The status code. What is the status code here? What
201.
is the 201? 201. So this status code is written by the server. Whenever we create the data successfully, then server will return the 200 series status code. You can see it here, 201 created. Now you have the question, who is deciding this status code to implement? So client will decide. The client will decide what status code you want if you are going to create the data. In some of the project, when you create the data, you will get 200 OK also. Right, in some of the project you will get a 201 created, right? So it depends on the requirement, right? So you don't have to confuse that who is this, why only 200, why it is 201. Okay, so that thing is decided by your client. If client want 200, then developer has to implement in such a way that it return 200, right? But it is 20 series because it is successful response, right? So client will never ask you to set the 400 series or 50 series. It will ask you only 20 series because it is successful response. right? Now I am using the get method to get the data. Let me call. So guys, can you see the status code? What is the status code here? So what did you mean by 200? Because this is the very, very important question, guys. That's why I'm repeating the same thing. What did you mean by 200? Okay, the status code.
Successful
response.
Successful message.
Successful
Data is created.
status code. Data is successfully fetched because you are using get method. If you are using post method, that means data is successfully fetched or downloaded. If you are using the get method, if you are using post method, then data is successfully created. Right? Now I'm using patch method to update the data. You can see it here. I am going to the patch method, go and select the body and the raw and select the data and pass the body, right? And you have to pass the employee ID and what ID it is. You can see it. ID is 1285. You have to pass the ID 1285 and select the JSON. Okay, and let me, I'm trying to update the Rahul API test as a active and let me call. Unauthorized error. Now tell me what it means, guys. Is this successful response?
We need to go on the to take the token on this site, on the website.
But I'm asking that, is this successful response or not, which you are getting from the server?
No, it's an error.
So it is not an successful error. It is not 2000 series, right? So that's why it is not successful error. You have to pass the token. So select the bearer token and okay, now let me call. Now guys, tell me, is this successful response or not?
Yes.
Everyone, please tell me, is this successful response?
Yes,
No,
yes.
Yes.
Why?
200 series.
If you are getting the 200 series, you can see it here. We have 5 types of the status code. 10 series, 20 series, 20 series is successful series. And 300 series is redirection series. 400 series is the client error series. 500 series is the server error series. You can see in the 200 series we have 200, 201 and 204 no content. Okay, so you are getting the successful response. Now tell me guys, I am trying to delete the data. Now tell me, pass the authorization here a token and log. Now tell me, is the successful response and what exactly it's doing?
We deleted the data.
Is this successful response?
Yes.
Yes. Deleting.
Yes, so this is the successful response. So 204 no content. Okay, so generally when we are deleting any stuff and we have no content in the response, in that case we are getting 204 no content, and this is decided by the client. In some of the project, if you delete the any object, you will also get 200. It is not necessary or fixed. that you will get the 204.
Because in JMeter, do we have any option to provide the authorization token?
Yes, we have. If you go to the parameter, if you add it here you can give the authorization. Okay. I will show you how you can add. Don't worry, sir. Okay. So like that. Okay. So this is all about the 20 series. So this is the string which comes along with the status code. When you are getting 200, it always comes with OK. When you are getting 201, then it always comes with created. If you are getting 204, then no content. Okay. Now we are coming to the client error. So in the client error, whenever let's suppose I have created one data, right, 1289. This is the unique ID of data. Okay. And when you are trying to find that data into your server, right, when you pass the ID 1289 and call, you will get the successful response, right? Let's suppose the data which you have passed, it is invalid, not exist into your server. And when you are trying to call, you can see 404 not found. So this is the client error, 404 not found. For 404 when come? Whenever any data is not exist into your server. In that case, you will get the 404 no found.
Resource not found.
Yeah, this message is depend on the requirement. This message is vary project to project. So guys, tell me, if you are trying to book the flight, this thing is already I have explained in the API classes in the detail actually. Let's suppose you are trying to book the ticket, view price, book now. I'm trying to book now. No. Okay, select this option. Continue. So guys, tell me, if I am not entering the first name and I am trying to click on continue. So tell me, this message is fixed or it is dynamic? If I use some other application, the traveling site, like suppose GoAbo or Make My Trip, or let's suppose Travel Loop. So every application will return this message if I not select the first name or middle name or mobile number, or message should be different. The error message.
It can be different.
So project to project, application to application is different, right?
Exactly.
Agree? Same thing here. Thus, if you not found anything, yes, it will return 404 not found. This error message, it depends on the client requirement. What they exactly want to print. What they exactly want to display to the user if anything is not found. Right? So clearly guys, if you not found, let's suppose you are trying to search anything, You are trying to find any data. Let's suppose I'm trying to delete the data 1289. I'm trying to delete this data. And I have passed the valid data here. If this data is exist, then it is successfully get deleted. If this data is not exist, let's suppose it is not exist in your server, then it will return the 404 not found. Clear concept?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
When will the 500 series come, Vikas?
Ma'am, when I come to the 50 series, I will explain you.
Okay.
Okay. So now let's come to the second error code. Yeah, this one is discussed. Right now, bad request. Bad request. So bad request, what you are trying to do here? Yeah, bad request. Let's suppose your requirement is asking that email ID should be unique. A second. Give me a second. Let me pass the authorization token and pass the. Let me remove the name and all the things. Let me call. See. Okay. Fine. Yeah. Let's suppose your requirement is asking that you have to pass the name. To create the user, the name is the mandatory property which you have to pass. Okay, and you are not passing that thing. So tell me, have you met your requirement here?
No.
No. If you not met your requirement and you are trying to connect with the server, you will get the error message something like that. Name can't be a blank. Or you can see email ID is already used. Email ID should be unique. You will get this error message. And here in the status code, you will get a 400 bad request. But right now I am getting 422 because this particular application developer has implemented this thing. But in the real time, you will get 400 bad request because you are sending the bad request to the server. It is bad request or not, guys? If you are not passing the name, right? It is the bad request, right? So we can try to look at here. Let's suppose I'll inspect this element. Let's see what error. I have also not seen this thing, what I'm getting in the UI. If I'm not passing email ID and the first name, let's try to R&D something. Okay. Go to the network section. I am not passing, let's suppose I am not passing the email ID, sorry, first name. Leave it as a blank, and mobile number is also blank. Okay. And email ID is also blank. Let's try to clear this thing and try to continue. Let's see what error message you will get here. Okay, this thing is completed. Try to look at this. Response failed to load. Okay, this is not returning the error message 400. Let me again call. No, it's not returning. What I will do here, I will pass some name here and check it here. Okay, it's again not showing. No. Let me remove and clear this thing, and let me try to call it here. Strange. The status code is 200. Might be they have said 200 in the make my trip. That's why we are getting 200. But in the back end, in the real time, actually, you will get the 400 bad request when anything is not as per the requirement. And here you will get 200. Why? It is because the make my trip don't want to show the customer, to show the users they are getting some 4003 something like. In every case they are returning 200, but I believe internally it's getting any error message, any client error. Okay, so let me. So when you will get the 400 bad request, whenever anything is not passed according to the requirement, you will get the 400 bad request. Clear? And the next thing is 401 unauthorized. Unauthorized. Unauthorized means whenever we are not using the token to create the users or to perform the CRUD operation, either create, delete, or download, you need the security related stuff. Okay, and for that you need the authorization token. If you not use the proper authorization token, let's suppose I am not passing the valid token, you will get the error message as a 201 unauthorized. Unauthorized. So this authorized, let me give you one concept. In real time, we have two types of concept: authentication and authorization. Authentication and authorization. Authentication means we are trying to authenticate. Means we have ICICI Bank. Let's open the ICICI Bank. And let me go to the login feature. Login feature. If I'm entering the valid username Vikasa and the valid password, when I click on the login, that is known as a authentication. To authenticate the user, to verify the user's credential, username and the password. If your user ID and the password is correct, then your authentication is pass. Right? If user ID and the password is fail, then you are not the valid user. Right? So this process is known as a authentication. So guys, tell me, everyone having the swiping card, the employee card, right? So how did you enter your office? When you come to your office, how did you check in into your office? What is your process?
First, we have to swipe our card at the gate to enter into the office.
Yes, you have to swipe your card. That is known as a authentication. It's verifying the users. You are the right users or not. That is the authentication. It's authenticating your credential. It's authenticating your credential. It might be in the different form, like we are entering the user ID and the password, like you are swiping your card, like you are biometric access, right? You are getting some OTP when you are trying to access any application. That is also authentication, right? Authentication means to authenticate the user, to verify the credential. That is the authentication. Okay. Authorization. Now, authorization means to authorize the application. When you successfully enter into this banking application, right? Enter into this application. So tell me I'm explaining you one example. When you enter your office, have you seen that some of the areas are restricted, like storeroom, server room, your senior management cabin is restricted, right? You don't have the authorization to go there, right? And some of the area you have the authorization, like cafeteria, your table, your sitting table, right? So that is the authorization. Simple. Authorization means what user can access after authenticating. When you enter your office, you can't go to your server room. So admin has restricted you, right? You don't have to go there.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
So
yes.
that is unauthorized reason. You don't have to go there. Authorization means to verify the access. To verify the access. So guys, tell me a simple example. If admin person allow you to go to the server room, can you go there or not?
Yes, I can go with
Yes.
If admin person allow you, right? So how they allow you? You know, they will make some changes into your card, into your ID employee card. They will give you the access. When you swap that card, you can enter, right? Agree?
Yes.
Agree? So if the admin person has not given you access, can you go there? No. Can you go there? No. Similarly, to perform the action, to delete the user, to create the user, to fetch the user in the backend, we need the token. That token is known as a authorization token. This is the token to perform the action. If you don't have the valid action, the server will not allow you. The server will server will understand you are the fake user. You are not the genuine user, right? Server will not allow you to perform the action. That's why we are using the authorization. So guys, tell me, if I not use the authorization here, so tell me, anyone can create the data or not? Anyone can delete the data or not? Anyone can download the data or not?
Yes. This is a threat.
Right? So anyone can perform the action. So there is chances to, the poor security level or not.
Yes.
It is very easy for the hacker to hack your application, right or wrong?
Correct.
Right. So that's why we are using the authorization token to authorize the particular access. If you don't pass the valid token, you can't perform the action. If you have the valid token, after then you can perform the action. So similarly, if let's suppose I don't have the valid token and I'm trying to access this application, right? So you will get the 401. You will get the 401. Clear?
Yes.
Any question?
So Vikash, yeah. So Vikash, I can say that means authorization takes place after the process of authentication, right?
Yes, the authorization will take place after the authentication. Exactly correct. Because first you have to log in, after then you can check the access. So guys, tell me, without entering your office, can you access your seat? Can you go to your table? Can you go to the cafeteria?
No.
No. First you have to access. First you have to enter. That is the authentication. In the interview, they will ask you, what did you mean by the authentication and authorization? Very, very important question. If you not answer, directly they will reject you. Directly they will reject you. If you don't have the clear concept of the authentication and the authorization, directly they will reject you. Because in every application, in every REST API project, they are using this concept. They are
So authorization, so authorization can be told as the access to a particular resource, right?
Yes, to access the particular resource. For that we need the authorization. Right. In real time, we have the one token. Let me show you that token. My workspace. In the real time, yeah, something like that. You have the separate API. In the real time, you have the separate call, separate request, where you will pass the user ID and the password, and when you call this API, it will generate the token. Right? And using this token, you can proceed your action. You can proceed your action. So this is the authentication and this is the authorization which you are getting. If you use the wrong credential, what happened? Let's see. Forbidden. Now try to understand the forbidden. What did you mean by the forbidden? So guys, in the interview, they will, if you not give the answer of 200, everyone know. It's very simple. It's very simple. 200, right? If you don't know the 400 client error, and if you not explain in very neat and clean way, then they will directly reject you. Directly reject you. Okay, so let's try to discuss the 403. Okay, so guys, have you seen something like scenario in the real time? I think when we are kid, uh, you know, when we are very kid, like 10th, 12th class, or in earlier class, we are very interested in some other life, like who is the girlfriend of that person, and that person is whom is dating that person. I want to check his Facebook account. I want to check his Facebook account. I know his his password, but I don't know his credential. What I know, somewhere somewhere he used my laptop at that time. I have seen that his password, but I don't know what is his username, right? So this is the account of some other person. I know his that particular person password, and I'm trying to pass the username something like randomly, like with his name, like let's suppose his name is Rahul. I'm trying with Rahul 123, something like that, and you are trying with the server. We are calling, so it's showing the invalid username and password. Agree? I think I have also did it. I have also did it in my college time and in my school life. Everyone has did it, right? They are very much interested in some other life, right? Who is coming into his life, and all the things, right? So I'm trying to access these some other application, some other user data, and I'm passing the wrong I know the password, right? But I don't know the username, so I'm trying with a random username, right? So in that case you will get the 403 forbidden. When one user trying to access the other user's data, when one user trying to access the other user's data, you will get the 403 error message. You will get the, guys, I will not repeat this thing again. When we start again switch to the performance testing, I am not directly explaining the things in the JMeter. If I explain the thing, you will not understand, I will guarantee. That's why I'm explaining the thing from the basic, so that you can understand. When I start doing the performance testing, when I add the assertion, okay? So let's suppose I know the correct username. I know the username is admin, but I don't know the password. I'm trying with random password. Okay, what I'm trying to do it here, guys, tell me.
Trying to unlock
I'm
the others'
trying to log in.
credentials.
I'm trying to access the other user's data, right? So in that case, you will get the 403 forbidden error message. 403 forbidden error message. Okay, so 403 forbidden error message. So in the interview, they will ask you when you will get the 403 forbidden error message. So you can give the answer. Okay, and 403 is similar to the 401. is similar to the 401. When you pass the invalid authorization, you will get the 401. But if you pass the correct authorization token, if you pass the invalid credential, then you will get the 403. So I have given the example of by taking the other user's data, other username and the password. Okay, let's suppose yeah, yeah, same thing here. You can see I'm trying to create the trying to create the data of other user. No, sorry, I'm trying to log in. Sorry, this is the get method by passing the some other user name, right? So you will get the error message. Similarly, if you are trying to use some other user ID and trying to update, and that authorization token is not related to your, you will get the 403. Right? Now 400 is clear. When you pass something bad request, you will get the 400 bad request. Bad request means not according to the requirement, or something like, pass something like syntax error, something you have passed. In that case, you will also get the bad request. Okay, right now I'm not getting, because this application is not implemented in such a way that's why. But in the real time you will. 401 is clear, 403 is clear, 404 is clear, 405. 405 means, let's suppose your requirement is to create the data using the post method. Your requirement is to create the data using the post method. Right? Using the post method, but you are using the get method by mistakenly. Right? So you will get the error message as a method not allowed, because that method is not used to create this method. Post method is used to create the data. Right? So that is the 405 method not allowed. Method not allowed. Okay, now here I have some 400 bad request data. Here you can see it here. Bad request data. 400 bad request. Can you see it here? You can see the error message. The request cannot be fulfilled due to the bad request. Here something I have passed the bad request. I think that's why you are getting the bad request error message. Okay, and if you go it here, what is the bad request? Yeah, you can see it here. ID I have to pass, actually room ID. If I pass the room ID, it will work. So I have not passed the things according to the requirement. That's why you are getting 400 bad request. Okay, now coming to here, this thing we are not, you will not get in the real time. 411, 414 and 415. So you don't have to worry. But you have to know 411 means when we have lot of the response length is too much. The response length is out of index. In that case, you will get the 411 length required. Sorry, 414 URL is too long. Okay, generally we are not getting this 3 in the real time. In the real time, you will see only this 5 client error. Only get this 5. Okay, the last one is the client server error. When you will get the server error, you can see I have one request 500 server error. So guys, server error. So we don't know the exact reason of the server error, guys. Server error is, we have the multiple reason of the server error. So guys, have you seen that when your server in the down or in the maintenance mode, are you getting the server error or not? When you're trying to hit the application. Means 500 internal server error. In the real time, have you seen this error
Yes.
message or not? 500 internal, let me go here and open the image. Have you seen this error message in the real time?
Yes, yes.
The page is not responding. So
Yes, we have seen this.
we don't have the one reason of the server error. As a tester, the developer has to find what is the exact reason behind that. We can only assume the things. So whenever you will get the server error, we have the multiple reasons behind that. The first reason is the server is down for the maintenance. Right? When your network is very poor, the network which you are using to access that particular application, that server is down. Means server is very poor network. Have you seen or not? Like when you are using the mobile network or when your Wi-Fi is very poor, you are getting the server error or not?
Yes, yes, yes.
Right? So you will get this type of error. So this is the second reason. When your server is not started, server is available but it is not started by the developer. So this is the one reason. When let's suppose number of user on the server, let's suppose currently there is using 100 user, your server is working. Gradually you apply the load on the server 100, 200, 300. When you are applying the load on the server, sometime it is not responding, you will get the 500 error message. So this is the one reason of the server error. Server is overloaded. Have you seen this type of issue? When you will do the performance testing, we will see the server error. We will apply the more and more load on the server and try to break the application. Okay, at that time we will see this example. The backend service is overloaded. Okay, and a specified port is not open. So every server is having one port number. Actually every server having the port number. The developer has know this thing in better way. Every server having the port number. If developer has not opened that port, in that case your server will not respond. So there are multiple reasons for the server error. We can't identify the exact reason behind that. We can only assume the developer has, they will decide by looking into his code or whatever the way he follow the developer. Right? We have to only duty to find the bug. So we will apply the load on the server and will try to generate the 500 internal server error. Okay, so in coming class we will discuss about the 500 internal server. When we apply the load on the server, we will see the server error. Okay, so that's it guys. If you have any query, then please let me know. So in the tomorrow class we will discuss the controller, logic controller, the controller which we are using, and then the config element. What are the config element we are using? And then we will use the other assertion also, and the pre-processor and the post processor. There are a lot of things guys which we have to learn. Okay, any question? So class is over. I think it's already late. So if you have any question, then let me know. Otherwise you can left the call.
Vikas, can you share that document, because my document has only till controller. So can you share the
Okay,
document?
I will share you the document. No problem.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. One thing. You can message me personally. I have talked to you. Okay. Yeah, any other question?
No question.
Okay.
Vikash,
Thank you guys. Yeah, ma'am, tell me.
Vikash, about the conflict 409 error, have you explained on that? Maybe I missed.
409?
Yeah.
409. Okay, let me explain. Generally, you are not getting in the real time if the developer has not implemented. 409 means we have created one data in our database, right? In our server. And using the same ID, let's suppose I have created your data in the server, and the server will return the unique ID, right? So what I'm trying to do, using your ID, I'm trying to create my data. In that case, you will get the 409 conflict. Right, generally the 409 in rare company, some of the company they are using this concept. In one of my project, one requirement was there, that's why I know this concept, right? Otherwise no one explain you when you will get the 409 conflict. Okay, 409 conflict means whenever you have created one data, right? And when the second user come, and what the second user is trying to do, he is using the existing ID, like using the existing name or email ID or unique ID, he is trying to create the data. In that case, the server will return 409 conflict. The name itself say conflict, right? It get conflict. The data which you are trying to create is already there, and you are trying to create the same data. That's why it return the 409 conflict. But most of the company they are not using this concept 409. Instead of that, they will returning 400 bad request generally. Okay.
Yes, Vikash, thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Because,
Thank you, guys.
because one question.
Yeah.
Can you open JMeter once?
Sorry.
Can you open JMeter?
Give me a second, sir. Give me a second.
I'll ask tomorrow. Not that much.
Give me a second, sir. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir. Tell me. What was your question? Sorry.
I can't see the JMeter. Can you please open JMeter?
Yeah, I have
Actually,
opened the JMeter. Yeah.
yes. Yes. Can you open that mm, that file login logout which we are doing?
Yes.
Not
Yes. Okay.
yes. What is this HTTP header manager? I was
Yeah,
just
that we will discuss in the config element. Here you can see config element HTTP header manager. You can see it here.
okay. Okay.
Okay, so while
Yeah.
we are recording the stuff, while you are recording the scenario, it will also get recorded. So in this recording, it will record the header. So you can see in the postman, when we are connecting with the server, we are also passing the header, like the accept, user agent, host, content type, connection. So that header is this one
Okay.
actually.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
that I will explain you, don't worry. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Vikas.
Thank you, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye bye. I will provide you the latest document. You can go through that. Okay. Bye.